Hello and welcome to Fun with Failures. I don't work here, lady. I also wanted to share that I have a Twitter and a Facebook page. I'll post things like neckbeard news and funny things that I found on the internet. So I hope you join me. I'll have the links for them down in the description. I found 5 of the best stories from Reddit, so without further ado, here we go. After working in retail, there is nothing I hate more than rude customers. I can't stand people most of the time because of it. Here's a little background for this story. I get my tires changed over in the spring at Costco every year because I've got snow tires that I like to change out. They give me a good discount because I buy my tires there. They just started allowing you to book appointments for tire changes online, so I didn't just show up and hope that they have time to change my tires. But by doing this, they don't really have time for walk-ins at all because they're typically booked up for the day. Now the story. It's a little before 2 p.m. There was a long line for the automotive department. My car's tires are all changed, and I'm just waiting to pick up my keys. There's a middle-aged couple in the front of me complaining about the wait. All the typical, "What's taking them so long? Aren't there more people working? Why are they so bad at their jobs? It's not that hard." At one point, they even turned around to me and asked if I usually have to wait this long. After listening to them for about 10 minutes, it's finally their turn. And guess what? They didn't have an appointment. Shocker. And they drove from really far away, so they need to be squeezed in. After the lady at the front desk repeatedly told them, "I'm sorry, we can't squeeze you in," the couple yell a few choice words at the woman about how this is terrible customer service, yada yada yada, before moving along. I grab my keys from the girl, apologize that she had to deal with all of that, and walk out to the car. As I go to unlock my car, I see the annoying couple unloading their cart into their trunk. The couple then decided to prop their cart up in the grass, instead of walking literally 10 meters to their cart return, or 30 feet. Like it took more effort to prop it up on the grass than it took to walk it to the return. At this point, I am so livid. First they cuss out the poor desk girl, then they disrespect the cart people by not walking the short distance to the return. So I walk over to their cart, glare at them, then return their cart, without saying a single word. The couple then proceeds to pull up next to me in their car, and the guy yells out, "Hey, thanks! That's the best service we've gotten all day from this crappy store. You people really need to work on your customer service." I can't contain myself anymore, so I reply with, "I don't work here. You're just being a complete and utter butthole. You treat the girl like crap, and you're treating the cart return guys like crap because you're too lazy to walk 10 meters. And you're so ignorant that you do not recognize that I was the one standing behind you the whole time. You even complained to me. Maybe if you weren't such an entitled jerk, you'd get better service." The look on his and his wife's face was worth every second of that. Of course, he proceeded to tell me to F off, and that I was dumb, and I didn't know what I was talking about. But I just flipped him off and I got in my car. I can't yell at those jerks at work, so it felt amazing to do so as another customer. I am a 24-year-old female, and I work as a therapeutic staff support. This is for a teenager in a school. My client is a male, and for those obvious reasons, I can't go into male-only places with him, like the bathroom and locker rooms. So here's the setting. We are in his chorus class, 5 minutes before it started. "Can I go to the bathroom?" "Yeah, sure, but ask your teacher first, and make it quick because the class is starting soon." My client asks and gets permission, and goes to the bathroom right around the corner. At this point, I pull out my phone to check my text. I'm in a dark corner of the classroom, so I'm not a disruption to others. This is because I can't have my phone out while my client's with me. Also note, this teacher lets students have their phones out as long as the class hasn't started yet. The teacher walks up to me and takes my phone out of my hands. "You can have this back at the end of the class." In a sincere and polite tone, I say, "Excuse me, I'm your student's therapeutic staff support. I've been here since August, so I'm not your student." "No, you were here last year in my class. You know the rules. Go stand on the risers." I decided since I was at work, I'd be a good sport. So I stood on the risers, and my client joined me when he got back. He was in his own little world, so he didn't care if I was standing next to him. The behavioral specialist consultant walks in and gets her weekly hours with her client, and motions for me to come over, cause it's weird for me to be standing next to my client when he's perfectly fine and independent in this class. I explained the situation to her and why I was standing in the middle of the high school chorus class. The BSE pulls the teacher aside and explains the situation to him. After class, yes, he waited until the end of the class, he apologized and handed me my phone back. I must note, it's not like he asked me never to have my phone as a staff, either before or after this event. My BSC and my coworkers had a good laugh at this at supervision. Truck driving school. We were out learning how to maneuver a truck on local roads, and our instructor wanted us to grab some food from the Wawa. Yes, the region is Northeast USA. We parked the truck and got out. We're heading inside to grab a drink and snacks before we got back on the road. Next thing I know, I feel a sharp tug on my sleeve. At this point, I should point out that I'm wearing a high-vis vest, jeans, boots, and a black t-shirt, so I did kinda look like an employee. "Young man, come fill up my car, chop chop." Yeah, she actually said that. "Ma'am, I'm not allowed to pump gas. I don't work here." "Don't give me that, little boy. You have a vest on. You work here. Get back to work and pump my gas." By now you realize I'm from the horribly great state of New Jersey. "Seriously, I don't work here. I never have." "Well, you obviously work at a gas station. Only gas station laborers use vests like that." I walk up to my truck, and construction workers, dock workers, police officers, and truck drivers in training. "Lady, I drive the truck over there. The big red one with the gray trailer?" She looks visibly angry and she says, "I command you to pump my gas. What is so hard for you to understand?" I took my leave from Crazy, shaking my head and walking away. She stared as I did just what I said and climbed up into the cab. Then I started that wonderfully loud Mercedes diesel. Meanwhile, had been standing by what I assumed was her car, looking annoyed. On the plus side, a kid coming out of the Wawa wanted me to blow the air horn, which I was happy to do. So, I just finished my work at my current place of employment. I'll avoid names of the store, as I also post on Tales from Retail, so I don't wish to give too much information away. But this might not be hard for people who know the stores, and the believed backstory will know what stores I'm talking about. Side note, our uniforms are somewhat the same, yet our t-shirts weren't the same color as blue. Also, we had white weave throughout the shirt, along with a different store name on the chest. I work at Store A, and I went to Store B. This set of stores pretty much work the same way. They normally have the same layout, items, work mechanics, etc. Yet, I headed to this rival store, as they currently had a nice helmet cam on sale, which I wanted to pick up in case I got into an accident on my bike, and I needed proof of the accident. I was still in my work clothes as I made my way to the tech section of the store, browsing other goods in the area, minding my own business, until I heard a man speak out. "Hey, I need you to get something for me." As he was right next to me, I turned around likely with a dumbfounded expression. "Huh?" "Don't huh? I need you to get something out of the back for me. Your lot are sold out." "What? I don't work here. No way, I can't do that." "Yeah, you can. I just need this item. Just see if it's in the back." "No, I can't. And again, I don't work here. I work at Store A." And I pointed at the logo on my shirt. "I know, and I know that the store are owned by brothers, just different names, so don't give me that." Now, part of me was amused. The rumor is that both stores are owned by different brothers, and some people seem to believe the rumors, and the name of the store means nothing. No, I mean, yeah, I know the rumor of the stores, but they are different companies. So no, I don't work here. The guy just sighs and walks off. I think this is the end of it. Before long, he comes back with the manager. He gives the idiotic rant. "Yeah, this employee doesn't want to help me. This employee won't help me get something out of the back." Only for the manager to look at me and sigh. Then explain to the guy that I worked at the rival store and that the brother joint owning rumor was false. The guy just sighed again, walked off muttering, and that was the end of it. But hey, I got myself a helmet cam, so it's all good. This all happened many moons ago when I was 16. My first job was at a hot springs pool. I was working as a lifeguard. The water park featured a large hot tub pool, a cold pool, and 2 water slides, and there was only one lifeguard at a time that worked there. I worked there when everything was open, including the slide. Outside of the cold pool, there were many odd things about this job, one of which I was expected to sit outside in a little uninsulated shack with a lifeguard coat on. I was never exactly sure what I was supposed to do if someone went under. Another odd thing with this is I was paid from a personal check from the manager. I never really understood that one. I worked there for minimum wage. Later on, I was hired by another large pool, and it was much closer to my home, and it was an actual lifeguarding job. Where this was my first job, my dad was trying to teach me how gainfully employed people should be responsible, and he said it was customary to provide 2 weeks notice. He also said that 1 month notice was more appropriate, especially if the job is one where they cannot go without my position. We decided that I would give 1 month notice, since there was only 3 lifeguards, and that they would need to hire another replacement. After the date came and passed, I got a call from my manager, and he was upset that I hadn't come to work. I told him that my 1 month has passed and I quit. He asked me to work a bit longer, until he can find my replacement. The manager kept scheduling me and I kept working, but each time I ran into him, I would remind him that I had quit. He was still scheduling me, so I left him a note that I wouldn't be coming in anymore, and that I wouldn't be checking the schedule anymore. He called me the next Friday night, apparently a shift that I was scheduled for, and chewed me out over not coming to work. He told me that if I wasn't responsible enough to work when scheduled, that he would have to fire me. I yelled back at the phone, "You can't fire someone who quit 3 months ago." He kept yelling at me and telling me how horrible of an employee I was, and how I'll never be able to hold down a job as an adult. My dad was in the room and he could hear every word that he said. He finally took the phone from me and delivered a rebuke so satisfying that it belonged in a Liam Neeson movie. My dad is not someone that raises his voice, but he has this way of talking quieter and scares the crap out of you. He finishes talking with my long-since former manager and threatens to drive out to the Springs to finish their conversation. He never drove out. He thought it would be more painful on the guy, who was fairly young himself, just to make him sweat to see if my dad was going to show up. There was a long line for the automotive. 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 If you enjoyed these stories, please leave a like and subscribe for more. All stories from Reddit and other external sites are linked in the description below. If you have any stories you'd like to share, you can send it to my email at funwithfailure@gmail.com. And for just $1 a month at Patreon, you can get advanced audio broadcast. The link is in the description.